it going. So welcome to the chat. Thank you, Fly Eagles Fly. I appreciate that. Hi, Taro, Mr. Leafy, LJZ, notification on. That's what I'm talking about. All right, Gregory, give me a second here. Sleep apnea secondary to sinusitis, common. Nexus needed from who? It is common because it's a respiratory conditions within the same system, not rated together. Sleep apnea, asthma, and COPD share the rating. Sinusitis is outside of that. So what is common? Nexus letter from who? Anytime you're looking at a Nexus letter, you got three options, okay? I always recommend your primary care at the VA or private. Option number 2 would be a service that's near you, okay? And then option number 3 is that's when you start reaching out for various. Why dress up? Dude, I literally just left the office. Whenever I'm teaching on the platform, I gotta wear a suit and tie. I just left the office, came home, recorded this intro for a one-on-one that I just posted for tomorrow. But I'll take it off. Okay. All right. My Mount Hernandez, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Eli Riddle says, how do you find time to manage everything in your life? You're a busy man. Yeah, I don't really know how. It kind of just happens. I need to update the description of this live, though, because for some reason I can't do it from my phone, so I'll do it from here. So let me just update this really quick. Do some copy and pasting, call it a day. Bow, go back, go here, bow, save. I don't know why it's like that. I don't know why that's like that at all, actually. Why does that happen? Okay, let's answer some more questions. Government Lackey says, hey Clay, if my wife is rated for scoliosis and has had corrective back surgery for it, can she claim radiculopathy for even if it's been relieved? So each claim is going to require a current diagnosis. So as long as the current diagnosis is still there, then sure, right? Now the for surgeries, it's a little different because there's residuals. So my one all be all for that, because I can't really see the evidence for myself, is hey, if you have a disability, something to claim do. Let the VA do VA stuff. Gregory says also sleep apnea secondary to PTSD. Which one would you say? If both at 50% for PTSD and sinusitis. It's not really a one or the other. You would do, you could submit sleep apnea secondary to sinusitis, and your PTSD factors, it would be another correlating factor. So the VA would go ahead and look at that. But sure, you could do that. You could go that route if you want. Keith Jefferson, can anyone tell me if SMCL is added? Go ahead and look at SMCL. So most SMCs are apart from disability, and I'm pretty sure there's 2 sections of SMCs, and I'm pretty sure that's in the second section, which would be no. Man, I am tired though, I can tell you that. Depends, okay? It depends. So, yeah, that would be on top of. Alright, Taro says, question, my hip is killing and the VA won't. Let me look at my live chat just to make sure. Need more volume. Let me turn up my phone, I don't know. You should also turn up your phone too. Okay. My hip is killing me, and the VA won't give me more than 0% because of my mobility. What do I need to do? Do I always need a Nexus for secondary? No, so the hip is rated very weird. The most common rating for your hip is 0%. So there's flexion, abduction, and I think extension, the 3 range of motions. It's super common to be rated at 0% because the degrees, like if you can cross your legs, it'll be 0%, right? Because of the flexion degree from your hip. And so there's not really a secondary for more range of motion, if that makes sense. Terry Klein says, big up, CivDiv, love what you do. I love you too, thank you. LGZ says 100% PNT, open HLR for pain, submitted letter and 3 820s to withdraw claim within past 20 days, no response, thoughts on my claim withdrawal. I wouldn't worry about it, you're 100% PNT. If you are worried, I would just call the VA and say, hey, I submitted all this stuff. Go ahead and do it. Why is SMCL easy to get? Well, because it revolves around amputations, okay? So it either is or it's not. So easy to get, I guess technically that's correct. But the answer is really, it sucks. If you're looking at SMCL, that sucks, and I'm sorry. Okay, Bobby D's, my favorite name. Hey Clayton, what's up? How long after I file my claim should I start contacting the VA to check up on it? You shouldn't really check up on your claim unless you want to. I understand that's anxiety inducing, okay? So I mean, sure, you can check on your claim. You can download the VA app if you want to. I personally wouldn't recommend that because it's just going to give you more of a headache. But you can call them. You can talk to your VSO rep, whatever that looks like for you. You can kind of cut that cake how you want. Zero Caution says, what up? Should I file Q if I'm barely 100% PNT or wait till 20 years, 100 Q is SMCK? If you're gonna file a Q, I'm gonna recommend you get a attorney. Okay, I would never recommend someone do a Q on their own. And yeah, that's about it. All right, I just did a one-on-one with someone. This video is 1 hour and 12 minutes long, so I'm about to post that here in a second. Or actually, I'll probably post it tomorrow. But you watch it for me. I'd appreciate that. I need to make that thumbnail. I'm gonna answer more questions too. So let me just get this ready. And I'll answer some questions. Okay. Jay Heiler, welcome. Claims Jedi Master, what's up? JH, do I submit personal statements with BDD claim? My DAV said not to. I'm not going to say don't. There's only a few claims I always recommend a personal statement. But if you're going to go balls to the wall, submit a statement for every claim, I never recommend that. I actually think that's kind of, I want to say stupid. So it just depends, right? Now, for migraines, that's one I always recommend a statement for. If you're submitting mental health, it's a good idea to consider a lay statement from your spouse or your friends, your close friends and family, because the 38 CFR criteria for that, right, is it really goes into relationships and all that good jazz. Outlaw, what's up? Appreciate that. Let me look. I gotta look at how I do my one-on-one thumbnails, and then I'm gonna make this, and then I'm gonna get back to answering some questions, at least for an hour. Then I gotta peace out. So, one-on-one meeting. Okay, that's pretty simple. That is pretty simple. I can do that. That is meeting. This one and you get rid of the word. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Nope, There we go. Ooh, I bet I already have this. Yes, I do. Didn't even need to create it. I'm an idiot. All right, let me just go ahead and upload this, and then I'll get back to answering questions, because this is gonna take a while to upload. So as that's working in the background, I can go ahead and answer your questions, and we can let the questions pile up, so that way we got something to talk about. What happened? Potential for VA disability claims. I'll put this in projects, meetings, throw that down here. There we go. Okay, almost finished. Almost finished. Run through this really quick, and then we will answer some questions. So don't go anywhere. I will answer your questions. One-on-one meeting. Boom, 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 boom. Thumbnail. Projects, meetings. Is that it? That's it, brother. That's it, brother. That's it, brother. Place automatically. None of the above. Submit. This one-on-one will go live tomorrow at 10 in the morning. Okay, questions. Question time. All right, Kevin's OB. Hey, my claim finally got a temp jurisdiction after being prepared for decision for a while. How long does that usually take? There isn't a single person on this planet that can answer that question, brother. Not a single person on this planet. So that is the answer, and I know that that answer sucks, but when it comes to timelines, no one knows. Brian McCarran says, hope all is well. I recently had my first exam where I'm pursuing chronic pain. I provided them a psych eval from my doctor. They called me saying I have to send them more info, like a letter. So I'm confused because you're talking about your exam, which is on the CMP exam side. Then you talk about your doctor, which is on healthcare side. I'm going to assume you mean CMP exam side. And so the CMP examiner company will always ask for more evidence if you have it, assuming they reach out to you for evidence in the first place. But if you're talking about your healthcare, I mean, that's your healthcare. You have to just be transparent with your healthcare team. Chris Supertramp, that's hilarious. I had my CMP exam a month ago. How long am I looking at? Nobody knows when your claim is going to be decided. No one can give you a guesstimate. No one can tell you roundabout outside of like 4 or 5 months, so no one knows. Benny, so is P&T not really P&T if you're being called for reevaluations? Thanks for all the support. If you're P&T, you will not be called for reevaluations. You won't. Rick Alfaro, sir, do I need to wait to file for mental health before getting treatment if already diagnosed? You already have the diagnosis. I want to know what your in-service event is, and if you are prescribed a treatment plan, that's a part of your evidence. Virgil says, Clay, thanks for helping me with my claim. Hey, you're very welcome. Got approved in January with 14 months of back pay, now at 80%. I hope that back pay was awesome sauce. Mr. Leafy says, I was told I have GERD by the Air Force. I'm active duty because I went in for throat ultrasound because it was bothering me and my airway. Not tested. Tinnitus, sleep apnea, not tested. I'm just going to assume there's a question in there about can I claim these, and the answer is yes. Aesthetic Talk says, can you claim VA disability as a reservist? You absolutely can, and the same criteria applies. in-service event, current diagnosis plus the Nexus equals service connection. Now you can't get paid from the same bucket, okay? So, you know, let's just, for math's sake, let's just say your VA disability is $1,000 and your drill pay is $200. They would take $200 out of your VA pay because it's the same bucket. Scumbag Brad. Coming in with the names today, I like it. Hey, TheCivDiv, what's up? I just received 100% combined, and I'm a little confused on how to check if it's P&T. There's an easy way to tell. Yeah, the easiest way to tell is look at your decision letter, Scumbag Brad, and if it says anything about your ability to access Chapter 35, which is Dependent Education Assistance, you are P&T, all right? That's from the decision letter through the mail. You could also go on the VA app, and it will tell you very, very bluntly, you know, you are considered permanent and total, and it'll say yes. We have our first donation from Chris Super Trent, brother. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm glad I answered your question, and I hope that helps, man. Joe Torres says, I'm in 90%. I was diagnosed with Gulf War separation syndrome, anxiety, depression, along with some other mental things that I developed when I went to the civilian CMP examiner. Diagnosed you with PTSD no matter how much I thought. I said, no, ma'am, that's not what I have. The VA denied me my claim for PTSD. I've now been in appeal almost 2 years waiting for them to reverse the PTSD that I never submitted. I have so many questions for this. If you're rated for mental health generally, it doesn't really matter if it's PTSD or not, just to be real with you. Terrell Marin says, can you claim fumes from striker's exhaust? No, you cannot claim that. You cannot claim exposure to anything, okay? What you can claim is a diagnosis or a condition, right? So for instance, hypertension. You can't claim Agent Orange exposure, but you can claim hypertension. You can't claim burn pit exposure, but you can claim sinusitis, rhinitis, and asthma. And so if those exhausts caused a diagnosis and you can link that to service, you can absolutely submit that claim. Benny with a super sticker. I appreciate that, Benny. $10 donation. He says, thank you for always making time for us. Thank you. I appreciate that. I just got off work. I had a one-on-one already recorded from yesterday. I popped in my little here, I can't take it out right now because it's still downloading. But my little thing right here, SD card, and then I just uploaded it for tomorrow at 10. And now I'm on live, so I appreciate that. I'll stay busy, man. All right, Michael Anastasio says, what up, Clay? Thank you for all you do. Thank you. Appreciate it. Jeremy Story says, do I need a Nexus if I'm service-connected, PTSD, required weight management during service, filing sleep apnea with CPAP, and private prescription? Yeah, so every claim needs a Nexus. Every single claim, okay? And that Nexus is generally going to be from your CMP examiner. Now, I think you're asking, do I need a private Nexus? The answer is no. A private Nexus is never, under any circumstance, required at all. Okay, now does it strengthen your claim? It can. Okay, not all of them do, but it can. So yeah, it just depends, man. But looking at sleep apnea, it's looking at correlation versus causation. I have an entire video on that. It's called "Don't Be Lied to About Sleep Apnea." You definitely want to check that out. I'll summarize it for you right now. It's a difficult claim. Okay, there are things that correlate to sleep apnea, and looking at mental health, there's no evidence, especially medical literature, saying that mental health causes PTSD. That's why it's a difficult claim. Can you do it? Yes. Jared Morris says hi. What's up? Jesse Swope says, if you needed a law firm, who would you use, CCK or Hill and Ponton, to go to the board? I'm in California. So I have nothing against them. I'm sure they are great law firms. But me, I'm from Kentucky, okay? And I love supporting small, independent businesses, all right, and local. And so if I'm going to recommend a lawyer, it's going to be AP Gross Law. You can look that up at apgrosslaw.com. I'll put that in the chat for you. I don't get anything from this. We have no partnership, Andy and I, at all. So it's a genuine recommendation. I just know he's a good dude, and I'm a fan of small businesses because small businesses really put the attention into certain claims where a large firms, right, a large business can kind of cherry pick the cases that they want. That will be easy. That's going to yield the most. Okay. Now, if you want to use CCK and Hill and Cotton, I'm sure they are great lawyers. Obviously, they are. They have a great platform, and the information coming out of their channels is really good. So I have nothing against them at all. Alejandro Ramirez says, "Glad you're doing this, mate. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Without you guys, there's no questions, there's no stream. So I appreciate that. We have another donation. Thank you very much, Brian Lovelady. Went to my CMP exam for tinnitus. Examiner laughed at the notion that tinnitus causes migraines and says, no, it does not. Does it affect my tinnitus? But wanted to share. Yeah, so so Terry Klein's using AP Gross. That's awesome. For anyone in the chat right now, if you are using him because of that one live stream we did, let me know. I would love, if that helped, I would love to have another live stream with him. He's just a good dude, and I'm all about genuine people, and you can tell that by speaking with him. But for you, Brian, the examiner's correct, and regardless of what YouTube will tell you, tinnitus doesn't cause anything. Okay. Tinnitus is an underlying condition, and that's the current medical community consensus on tinnitus. Hence, the proposed changes for tinnitus kind of being aligned with the current medical literature on tinnitus. Tinnitus does not cause migraines. It doesn't. All right. Now, that doesn't mean to say you can't claim migraine secondary to tinnitus. You can, but the argument is not a causative link. It's a correlated link, okay? It's kind of similar to sleep apnea and PTSD, but that's a fact. Terry Klein, thank you very much. I definitely appreciate that, for sure. Ooh, the motivational minister says he did. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're going to have to do another live stream with AP Gross Law. He's a good dude. All right, Matthew Coral says, I filed for migraines and the CMP. DBQ looks good for 50%, but they aren't service connecting, saying it's sinus and allergy related. I have 30% service connected for sinusitis and allergic rhinitis. Will they connect it with a secondary? They could. So the VA is supposed to look at secondary avenue of connection. If they don't and you have evidence, oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I will get to these here in a second. If you don't and you have evidence, I would start preparing a supplemental claim. All right. If you know you're going to go migraine secondary, although it is you went migraines direct, but now you're going secondary, you still have to file a supplemental claim. All right. Claims Jedi Master, thank you very much. For everyone who doesn't know Claims Jedi Master, he's 100% P&T with SMCT. That's when it gets really, really severe and you want to talk about, really, really high payouts. That is Claims Jedi Master. And that doesn't even include Social Security. So if you have any questions on Social Security, Claims Jedi Master is definitely he's really good at that, okay? Along with SMCT. All right. Christopher Markham, thank you for the donation. I definitely appreciate it, man. He says, I've received my combat PTSD diagnosis a month ago and currently in treatment for unspecified depression. When is it appropriate to file my claim? You can file it now, okay? You can absolutely file it now. So you have a current diagnosis. For combat-related PTSD, I'm going to assume that combat was in service. I'm also assuming you can prove that with either like a combat action ribbon, a combat infantry badge, a combat action badge, right? Maybe there's statements or certain deployments that you have to kind of use that as your in-service event. So it sounds like a pretty solid stressor. All right. Johnny B from Korea, what's up? He says, thank you for all you do, for all your efforts. You're a godsend. I wouldn't say that, but thank you very much. I definitely appreciate it. Yep, there you go. You have it. You have the cab. You're good to go, man. Crystal Carruthers, and I know I butchered that one, filed initial fully developed claim January 10th of this year for 13 disabilities, moving a few hours away in 2 months. Opinion on if CMP exams will be scheduled or done by then, no word yet. No one can really, kind of guess when your CMP exams will be finished or will be scheduled. I'll say this. Probably, let's just say within that 2-week mark, I would call the VA and make sure you update your address, because that's going to be a pain in the cheese unless you don't care about driving 2 hours away, or moving a few hours away. So unless you don't care about that, it's not a big deal. If you do, which you probably do, I would absolutely inform the VA of you, when you move. I personally, I would do that 2 weeks out, just in case the CMP exams are scheduled. All right, we're all criminals. That's someone's name, by the way. So I'm still active duty, and I'm going through a med board for a hip surgery. I only got 10% for one, and the other parts for the hip were rated at 0. My attorney just had me go to a chiropractor in a new range of motion exam. Would that help? It could, right? So hips are weird. There are 3 different range of motion ratings for the hip. It's flexion, abduction, and I believe extension. If it's not extension, it's some other range of motion word. But they are generally 0%, generally speaking. Okay, that doesn't mean that yours are. I'm just saying the majority that I've seen are 0%. But hey, to answer your question, yes, a new range of motion test would absolutely help as evidence to increase those. All right, Alejandro Ramirez says, is the VA going to decrease compensation if your income is past a specific threshold? No, they are not, and that is the issue with YouTube titles and thumbnails, and I fall in that category too. But to answer your question, no. USMC Big B says, got my package today. Thank you very much, USMC Big B, for your support. He had bought some hats and some shirts. I definitely appreciate that, as always, man. Omar Martinez says, can you put in a VA claim 2 years after you've already gotten a rating? You can put in a VA claim whenever you want, okay? The question, so the answer is yes. The question is that an evidence-based claim? All right. Hey, if you're watching this, I would definitely appreciate it if you hit the like button. It helps me, it helps you, it helps get the information out to more veterans. So, all right. Christopher S says, last med check before EAS, I mentioned I had my back problems. The doc wrote in my record, intermittent mild back pain that resolves on its own. PT never sought eval or does that count as a diagnosis? Not as a diagnosis, but it's definitely an in-service event. Okay, it's certainly a complaint. Claims that master, I'm gonna make you a moderator so people can see. You'll have a little thing by your name. So if you do answer a question, people more likely just to see it. Okay, appreciate that. Louis Leon says, hi, if I already wrote down all my information in the DBQ about my claim, why I need to also state it in the CMP exam? Yes, and you shouldn't be filling out the DBQ anyways. That should be your provider, whether that is through the VA, through private insurance, or you paid for a private DBQ. You should never touch pen to paper on DBQ. All right, at least when it comes to submitting it for your claim. Twisted L says, everyone says that sleep apnea, you need CPAP for 50. That's correct. But the criteria says breathing assistance devices such as a CPAP. Would mouth guards prescribed to open airways still count? So the threshold that requires the CPAP is really what they're talking about. And so if you meet that threshold, like if you need a CPAP, that's what will push the 50%. Okay. Kevin Krause says, Clay's out here saving lives. I definitely appreciate that. Kevin always brings up the, is the VA gonna take my gun? So, what's up, man? Thanks for coming back to another live. All right, Mark Simpson says I need to, holy crap. You know what? I'll take y'all with me. I need to change my laundry over, but I still want to answer questions. I totally forgot. I need to do it right now. Okay, had a potential cyst, operated on 6 times while in the military. 12 years, 195 pounds when I joined, 250 when I got out. About 10 years later, have type 2 diabetes. I think it's worth pursuing with weight. Let's see. I don't know if that alone is enough evidence to look at type 2 diabetes or weight gain, unless you're evidence from service, like you were on BCP, like a body composition program, or anything like that. Okay, let me do this real quick, and I will answer more questions from Tom McComb. Okay, very good. I've been denied for lumbar sacral strain because they said I have pre-existing condition of scoliosis. I had virtually no pain before I went in, and I've had pain since my service time. That sucks. So, aggravation claims are generally difficult. I know people will tell you otherwise, but the reason they're difficult is because you need to show evidence that service made your condition worse. It's not really a one-for-one. I'm going to assume you don't have any evidence of back pain in service. I'm also going to assume that you submitted that claim a little bit further out. Holy crap, dude. Them stairs got me out of breath. That's not an easy claim, okay? I wouldn't say it's difficult either. You just need to have evidence showing that your back condition got worse. Okay, let me breathe for a second. Mark Simonson. Oh, okay, I got that. Alejandro Ramirez, will VA compensation be decreased if the veteran makes more past the threshold? Nope, answer that one. Douglas Nabors, how much weight does a vocational report carry for TDIU? I mean, it's evidence. It's not really weighted like, it's evidence, I guess. All right. Should I bring my vocational assessment to my CMP exam? Yes, you should. What's up, Clay? What's up, Sun Moons Rising? Just got done with my PTSD CMP. It was the toughest exam I've ever had yet. Yeah, it sucks, man. Depending on the situation, it could definitely suck. All right, Twisted L. A VA employee said that if the decision narrative doesn't state the condition could get better, this means they consider it static. Pretty much, yeah. Peace all K says got chicken. Not today. No Chick-fil-A today. Mr. Leafy says, how much percent is GERD, sleep apnea, and tinnitus all together on average? Okay, so GERD on average is 10 or 30%. I've only seen 2 veterans with a 60% rating for GERD, okay? Tinnitus is 10. And sleep apnea is the most common, is 50, right? Denied or 50 should be the most common for sleep apnea. So if you look at, let's do the VA calculator real quick. Let's say 10 for GERD, 10 for tinnitus, and 50 for sleep apnea. That's a 60% flat. If you change the GERD to 30, that's going to be 69%, which is rounded to 70. XJBX says, If you end up with 100% P&T and still try to do things like marathons, can your rating get reduced? The answer is no, with the majority of claims being for mental health, sleep apnea, non-paralyzing physical claims. Nope. You'll be good. Trust me, if you're 100% P&T, you are, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Record results CMP on Tuesday, denied on Thursday. Ooh, that sucks, Harry. Sorry to hear about that one. Gavin Butler says, hey, Clay, I had my CMP exam submitted from QTC 8 weeks ago for MDD. How likely would it be combined or delayed if I submitted a SCARS claim today? It probably wouldn't be combined with that effective date because you already had your CMP exam, so I assume some time has gone by. That's an assumption, okay? I really don't know. But sure, you can go ahead and submit that. Just had my sleep study for sleep apnea last night. Okay, awesome. Glad to see you're building evidence. Thank you for always making time for us. Thank you for making time for me. Okay, appreciate it. What is TERA? So TERA, T-E-R-A, is toxic exposure risk activity. So it's exactly what it says. You know, what is your toxic exposure? That's anything from like asbestos, burn pits, lead paint, okay, Agent Orange, all that stuff. And it's off of a presumptive perspective. So a nexus is either medical in nature or presumptive in nature. And so the VA, if required, they will look at your claim disability, they'll look at direct, they'll look at secondary, and then they'll look at TERA. That's why you'll see like a TERA exam or a TERA denial on your decision letter, if that applies to you. Can Gulf War vets or only Gulf War vets claim Gulf War syndrome symptoms? Thanks. Yes. Roast beef says denied for TDIU at 90%. No reason was given. Have not worked in years. Should I submit a supplemental claim? I'd like to know your reason for denial. Okay, so a reason you received a decision letter. Feel free to join our Facebook group. You can post that anonymously if you so choose. Yeah, I would absolutely be interested in hearing and looking for that. Eli, I see you. Let me just make sure I didn't miss any other member chats because I did go upstairs for a second. Okay. Eli Riddle says, rated for 10% GERD. I have a claim in for IBS with Andy. How do we separate the IBS? You can't. Okay. So GERD and IBS will always be rated together. Dr. Sharma did not give an IMO for IBS since we claimed GERD. You can't. IBS and GERD will be interlocked. They always will be. Okay. Now IBS is considered presumptive. I'm going to assume you rate the PACT Act criteria. So if that's the case, shouldn't be a big deal. All right. Joe Torres says that's what I figured. Okay. Yep. Chris Ballard says I have a diagnosis for acquired bilateral flat feet and plantar fasciitis. That's a statement, not a question. I'm going to assume you're talking about can you submit that as a claim? The answer is yes. My counter question is what's your in-service event? All right, you have the diagnosis. That's good. What's the evidence in service that leads to that condition? All right, Terry Klein says reason for denial, no in-service event, no diagnosis. There we go. Favorable findings, in-service event, airborne parachuting incident. Okay, so the reason for denial is no complaints medically, but your in-service event, it's not contradictory, Terry, because the in-service event is the fact that you were doing airborne stuff. However, there still isn't any medical complaints, right? So medical evidence, no. Evidence other than medical, yes, but you still don't have a diagnosis, so that's what you're going to need. Terry Klein says Andy Gross is solid. I'm using him. All right, good to hear. Only says, can you claim female sexual dysfunction disorder if you are having sexual side effects from service-connected depression? You absolutely can. I wouldn't recommend a Nexus, okay? It's called FSAD, female sexual arousal disorder. I would talk to your healthcare team and kind of start building evidence for that, but you can absolutely submit that and that sucks. So that's you know, I'm sorry. I'm definitely sorry to hear that. All right, Paul says, "What's up, Clay? What's up? Welcome to the stream. I'm getting all my paperwork for my claim together. Just wondering how much weight a post-deployment health assessment is for a claim." It's up there. It's at the top. Okay, that's solid. Your annual health assessments, your pre and post-deployment health assessments are absolutely like the golden ticket evidence when it comes to in-service events. All right, Chris Ballard says, "Getting ready for my BDD. I have acquired bilateral flat feet and bilateral plantar fasciitis. Here's the question. Are they rated together or separately? Dangerous together?" Thank you for sharing the facts. Thank you. Annette R says, "Spouse of a peacetime vet, 4-day-long headache logged in STR back in the late 70s. Self-treated for years, diagnosed with migraines last year after being rated 70% direct or secondary." It doesn't matter. The VA is going to look at both. I would do direct because you have evidence of the headache/migraine lasting 4 days from service. Just had my sleep study for sleep apnea last night. Awesome. Good to hear. How do you get a one-on-one? I'm working on that. Okay, I'm absolutely working on that. And so once I start rolling that out, you will see. All right, Adelson Smith says, "Hey, what's up? Question, is insomnia rated under mental health? I'm already rated for PTSD. Can you apply for it?" Insomnia is rated under mental health. So if you're, generally speaking, if you're PTSD, I think you're rated for PTSD. Yeah. If your PTSD is 50 or 70%, I wouldn't even bother with insomnia at all. But yes, it's going to be roped in with mental health. There's nothing you can do about it. We have another donation from Robert Linthicum. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate that. He says, "Killa," spelled KILLAH with a simplify. Hey, so simplify to you too, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. Ooh, no Arabic here. Get that out of here. What are you doing? Yeah. Okay. Corey, aka New Fat Boy. All right. If tinnitus doesn't cause migraines, why so many videos on YouTube saying it does? I had the same type of reaction from my CMP examiner and have been waiting for a decision. Yeah, that's because people are, you know, it's the conversation of correlation and causation. They are two totally different things. Just because something can be service connected doesn't mean it's causation, right? So sleep apnea can be secondary to PTSD. That's a fact. PTSD does not cause sleep apnea. That's also a fact. That's what makes it a difficult claim, because it's correlation versus causation. Same thing for tinnitus, okay? And you can see the, not necessarily the medical literature supporting that, but you'll see the consensus from the medical community within the changes of tinnitus if you actually read the changes. But yeah, I mean, these are facts as deemed by the medical community, which is always, even me, even my videos. When I say something on YouTube, you know, you should always do your own due diligence and just look it up, okay? And if you rely on anyone else to include YouTubers or CMP exams or VSOs, you know, you're kind of at their mercy. If you take that for gospel. All right. Juanita Rivera Ripole says, "Hello from Clarksville." What's up? Clarksville, Tennessee. All right. Dirty Orange. Wife of a disabled vet here. We are fighting to get hubby's WPW syndrome service connected. All right. Well, regardless of what condition it is, you always need the in-service event and the current diagnosis. So depending on why you were denied, I'm assuming you were denied, just depends. Yeah, Outlaw says hit the thumbs up. Yeah, appreciate it. All right, Angela, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Ben K says, "How can I get the results from my recent CMP exam? Would my VSO have access to them?" They do, assuming they have VBMS access, but the technical answer is to go through your regional office and you can submit a request, and that comes in about 3 days. Joseph Sidico says, good afternoon. Is the VA taking away sleep apnea percent this summer? Not this summer. Okay. They are changing the way sleep apnea is rated. They are not taking away sleep apnea percentages. Okay, first. Second, no one knows when, right? VA Claims Insider is saying the summertime, but no one knows when. Okay, Jason from Veterans Info Tap, great channel by the way. He's predicting next year, right after the election year. I'm saying the end of this year, but no one knows, right? But they're not taking it away. They're just changing how it's going to be rated. We have another donation. I appreciate that. Adam Schmidt says, other than money, is there a downside to paying a highly recommended CMP examiner? Mine was for mental health. She was 10 out of 10. I wouldn't call that AC. Frank, I'll thank you. I'll definitely get to that in a second. So I wouldn't call a private Nexus or private DBQ a what do you call it? A recommended CMP examiner. It's just a private practice doing medical opinions and DBQs. Okay. Is there a downside? Assuming that the examiner reviews all of your records and does their due diligence, no, there's not a downside other than money. Okay. It definitely strengthens your claim. There's tons of providers out there. If you are going to go to one for mental health, I always recommend Psychiatrist. If you're going to go to one for whatever, physician, sleep doctor, audiologist, I always go to the top dog in that field, so to speak. All right, we have another donation. Thank you very much, Franklin Lorenzo. If anyone here likes photography, okay, Franklin's Instagram account and YouTube, he puts up some seriously awesome photos. If you want to check it out, he's a veteran. If you want to just support another veteran, go ahead and click on his stuff and show him some support, He says, so happy to have creators like you who give the veteran community and their families a prior view. Hey, Franklin, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I hope people, reach out and support your page. All right, the Blue Baron says, hi, what's up? Adelson Smith says, okay, Tim T-Man, is it possible to get a favorable rating tinnitus to GAD through the VA? So you're talking about general anxiety disorder secondary to tinnitus, and the answer is yes. Okay, you just have to have the evidence supporting that, and you're going to need a rockstar CMP examiner. All right, Ben K, no worries. Thank you for coming to the stream. Everyone who has sleep apnea is grandfathered in, correct? Can you talk about tort claims, please? This is a very specific question, and it's not really asked often. So tort claims, okay? Let's say you go in for surgery for the back, and the VA just butchers you, right? They just take an axe and just butchers your spine, and now you're worse off, right? So they botch a surgery. You can have a tort claim, and I'm gonna recommend getting a lawyer for this specifically, but you're gonna have to submit what's called a tort claim, and that can basically push you to the 100% mark and more, depending on that situation. But that's what a tort claim is in basic principle. I always recommend seeking a rep for that. Okay, Micah Hen says 70% right now have mental health exam in a week for PTSD. Any advice? Super nervous. Yeah, I got tons of advice, actually. I have a video on this. If you want to look at mental health CMP exams, you can look that up, but I'll go ahead and summarize this right now. So mental health CMP exams, there's 3 stages, right? There's pre-service, during service, post-service. So pre-service, they're going to ask you questions like, how was your parents? Are they married? Were they divorced? Did your dad beat you? Did your dad walk out and, when he went to the store to buy cigarettes and never came back? Whatever that looks like for you. Now, I'm going to tell you my advice is don't spend all day talking about, what happened in your childhood. The majority of the conversation should be during service, and this is where you reference your evidence, right? Saying, hey, I went to behavioral health while in service for XYZ. Or if you didn't go to behavioral health, it would be, hey, this event happened, and here are some symptoms that I'm dealing with right now. That's during service, and then post-service, assuming you're not doing a BDD claim, it would be how are these symptoms affecting your life right now, and that's pretty much how the mental health CMP exams go. Adam Schmidt, another donation. Adam, thank you very much. He says, thanks. I asked you to be able to help others. Oh, awesome. Awesome, Adam. I expected 70 plus unemployability, but got 100% PNT. There we go. So could recommending her be helpful to others? I wouldn't recommend her. You know what you can do, Adam? If you want, okay, send me an email. And just because I would hate to recommend someone that I don't know, that ends up, it worked out for your situation. What if it doesn't for someone else? So that would suck. So send me an email with the contact information. And if you want to, right, redact the IMO that they generated for you, you can send that to me too, and I can definitely review it. And then we can go from there. All right, Chris Horsley says, okay, awesome. Gavin Butler, my in the community therapist is convinced that the VHA has a secret records. That's not true. Can you confirm that I have access to all VHA records with the FOIA request? You have access to all your records without a FOIA request, all your VA healthcare records, and you can just download those via Blue Button Report. But sure, you can do a C-file request and get all those. Nope. So I do want to hit on something, Gavin, because I may have molded those two together and they're separate. So VA healthcare records, yes, you have complete access to. Disability claim records, you don't, which would be the C file, right? Because that is a legal process, not healthcare. Healthcare is healthcare. Disability is disability. So the answer is yes, no. All right, Live Life, thank you for being a member. I definitely appreciate that. Is migraine secondary to tinnitus a legit claim? That answer is yes. Okay. Don't be confused because I said that tinnitus doesn't cause migraines, which is true. It doesn't cause it. That doesn't mean it can't be service connected. Okay. How would you prove this if the VA says tinnitus does not cause migraines? With correlating evidence. Okay. And so at a Barney style level, it would look like you going to the VA and saying, hey, I need to put my phone on charger. Hey, VA, anytime my tinnitus flares up, I get migraines. Okay, it happens 3 times a month. Whatever it is your symptoms are, you can go ahead and express that to your healthcare team. But that is how you kind of build the nexus for secondary claims. All right, Nova. What's the latest on sleep apnea being raised 0% and treated by CPAP? That's complete garbage for them to even present that simply as a solution. Yeah, what's the latest on it? Same. We're just kind of waiting on the changes to be in effect. They are coming down. Okay, I know people are saying that they might not. That's not true. VA press release already said when these changes come down or when these changes are in effect. When, okay? We just don't know when that's going to happen exactly. All right, Mercedes, thank you for the donation. I definitely appreciate that. Thank you so much for the live. Thank you for attending. I'm a daughter of 2 veterans. One has dementia and prostate cancer who's never filed and got out in 75. Where do I start? VSO. Especially because that's going to, just by looking at that comment, it's probably going to be a difficult claim. I'm going to recommend, Mercedes, you look up Dale K. Graham Veterans Foundation. Anytime I'm dealing with an older veteran, okay, I always recommend them to Dale K. Graham. All right, Dale K. Graham Veterans Foundation, accredited VSO out of Oklahoma, but they will meet with you virtually from the comfort of your couch. Okay, that's my recommendation for anyone using a VSO. It's them. Is there a wait time? Yes, but once you go through their process and complete their intake form, if you go to Dale K. Graham, Dale K. Graham VeteransFoundation.org, and you click New Claim, Start a New Claim, once you complete that form, they will push an intent to file for you, so everything will be backdated. But that's my 2 cents on that. Right, Tracy Nichols says, I have a DBQ tomorrow for sinusitis and migraines. What's the difference between a DBQ and a CMP? CNP examiners complete DBQs. Okay, so they're the CMP is the examiner. The DBQ is the form that they complete. Ben K, excuse me. Will the CMP examiner have all the docs that you submitted in the claim? That answer is yes, no. All right. So if you look at the OIG report from 22, it found that in the majority of cases, there were, you know, the proper procedures for CMP exams were not followed. That includes the VA sending the examiner the proper records, right? So the answer is yes, no. So I always recommend when you do get a CMP exam, that company will contact you, whether it's VES, QTC, LHI, or some sub under them. You're able to contact that company and then upload your evidence prior to that exam, and you absolutely need to do that. All right, Asmith Business Center says, I have a tort claim. I sent in an SF-95 and it was received in February 5th. What happens next? What happens next is I would recommend you get a representative if you already don't, like an accredited attorney. And what happens next? You just kind of sit back and wait and you know, prepare your case. Caboose goes kaboom. Hello, I'm due to get out of the Army in approximately 3 weeks. Do you think I can apply for benefits at discharge? You cannot do a BDD claim that soon out, so you have to wait till you actually leave. I have PTSD with SUD. I'm getting out on a general discharge. Yeah, you can submit when you get out, okay? You're gonna wanna look at my master condition list video. It's tailored towards new veterans, okay? So definitely check that out. It's on my website at CivDivOnline.com. Just go click BDD claims for active duty and you'll see that. Okay, Naksu what's up? He says, I'm rated for sleep apnea, sinusitis. Can I claim headaches and migraines? You can, okay? You can. The question is, do you have the evidence to submit that claim? That's the question. All right, Proxy says, can I file even though I'm filing for hardship discharge to leave this April? If so, when should I expect results if I file in March? No one can answer that question. Guys, I'm leaving in 4 minutes, okay? That'd be 6 p.m. Eastern. So just a heads up, I'll do a rapid fire. Tracy says, hello Clay, how often do I need to see mental health counselor to keep your mental health rating? That's not a part of it, okay? If your condition is deemed static, that's irrelevant. If it's not, you need to seek healthcare for seeking healthcare, and that will be used as evidence. So when you are reevaluated, you have the evidence to show cause, either the same rating or it's getting worse. James says, I've done all my CMP exams. Tracy Nichols, thank you very much. I definitely appreciate that donation. I've done all my CMP exams. It's been over 2 months, and my mental health DBQ hasn't been uploaded. Is this normal? I'm not going to say it's normal because it's supposed to be done in 30 days, but feel free to contact the CMP exam company. Is fibromyalgia rated weird with VA Matt? No, I wouldn't say it's rated weird. It's rated, okay, but it's not. There's nothing weird about it. Can I still file for VA if I do a hardship discharge? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Thank you, Angela. I appreciate it. I also appreciate you being a moderator. Teddy Woodson says, hey Clay, I see on the VA website that my CMP exam was uploaded. How can I see the results? Any idea when the VA will make a decision? So there's a few ways you can see your results. Here's the easiest, if applicable, is go through your VSO with VBMS access, and hopefully they do it. If not, you got to go to your regional office and request your CMP exam results, which is generally fast. Call your regional office, especially if it's far away, prior to going out. Angela, sister, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Seriously, you don't have to do that. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, Austin W239 says, I'm currently my 100%, just got out of the Army this past June. Should I expect any changing in rates? If you're P&T, no. If you're not, maybe. Jose Villa, CMP exam for tomorrow for mental health. What DBQ should I look up? Google VA DBQ, all right? Click on the first link, scroll down. It'll say psychological or psychology or one of the two. The first one will be eating disorders. The next one is mental health. The next one is PTSD. So based on this, it'll be mental health, okay? If you're claiming PTSD, it'll obviously be the PTSD one. All right, 1 minute and I'm out of here, just so everyone knows. Mercedes Chapman, thank you for the live. Oh, Mercedes, thank you. Got it. Okay. Any tips for your mental health CMP exam? Yeah, man. So I would absolutely look at 2 videos. I want you to go to my website, TheCivDivonline.com. I'll put that up in the chat here. TheCivDivonline.com. Click mental health, and you'll see 70% rating for mental health, and then you'll see mental health CMP exams. And it'll go through everything you need to know in as short amount of time as possible. All right, it is 6 o'clock. Okay, thank you everyone for coming out to the stream. It was an hour-long stream. That's about it. And so, if you did come to the stream, thank you. If you asked a question, I was able to answer it. I hope I helped. All right. For those of you that I didn't answer the question, I promise you I will be doing more live streams. I have to answer you, Joseph. Okay, so thank you, Joseph. But I will be doing more live streams. So if I didn't answer your question yet, I will. Just kind of stay tuned. Subscribe, hit the little bell for notifications. So when I do go live, you can ask your question, you know, up front and first. So that way I get to your question as soon as I can. Okay. Joseph Dilko says, tore my ACL and received surgery, and it was identified the surgeon broke a piece of scissor tip of my knee during the surgery. Have all the documentation and medical record. Is this a tort claim? Possibly. Okay, I'm assuming this happened at the VA, so the answer is possible. That's why I recommend getting a representative, because there's a lot I can't see. Okay, but hey, was it a bot surgery? And can you be rated for, you know, other conditions other than your ACL? The answer is, based on this comment, the answer is yes. Okay, absolutely. Now, I don't want it to. We never have a tort claim. This is the last thing I'll say, and then I'll leave. I don't want to, you know, because we had a tort claim question. I don't want it to seem that tort claims are super common, because they're not, and they're very difficult to win. So if that is you, I'm telling you, I highly recommend reaching out to an attorney, because you're going to be battling the VA with law. All right, that's all I got. Thank you very much. Hit the bell so you can be notified. Subscribe, like my stuff, and then the next live I do, you can ask your question first, so that way I can get to it. All right.